Well, good evening, everybody. I hope y'all are doing okay. Uh, I just trying to stay out of the storms. We've got so many storms going on around us, and you never know. Mm, You never know. So that's what I'm doing right this second. Hi, Grandma Teresa. Good you could stop in. Trying to get a few things taken care of. Hi, Debbie. Mama's in that direction. I'm just sitting here. Last night's video, the reason I come on tonight, well, I came on earlier. Had put some conditioning stuff on my hair, and I thought, well, I'll just sit here. Well, I couldn't get the microphone to work, or I couldn't get the something, so I thought, well, I better just cut it off, and then I'll come back once I get my hair washed and get my stuff taken care of, because I was gotten the rain, and I just decided, well, I'd just wait till about 9:30 to come on. Y'all can see we're out with the chickens, but that's just about my life. Grandma Teresa's been in the hospital. I'm so sorry. We'll say prayers for you, Grandma Teresa. That's no fun. Being in that hospital is no fun. I know what it is. Yeah, I know what it is. uh-huh. I'm just drinking water tonight. I hope you're okay. I hope everything's going to be okay, Grandma Teresa. We're none of us are shy of knowing what the hospital is. Now, Mom, the only time she's been in the hospital when she broke her hip and that little rehab, but I've been in there several times, as we all know. And I've got these glasses on for a reason. Uh, I was thinking today, well, I've been writing some in my autobiography, and I was thinking about Iris Apfel. Uh, let's see if I got a picture of her so y'all know who I'm talking about. She was the most amazing person uh, that I think, you know, here she is doing some of her. She gave a lot of stuff. She had warehouses and warehouses and warehouses of stuff she and her husband had acquired. You know, she was just amazing. And I was writing in the book about some of how and when I met her and so forth and so on like that, because she passed away. Let's see, probably let me think, a year, been over a year, maybe something like that. I should have looked that up, but I didn't. Uh, Grandma Teresa says I fell and hurt my tailbone pretty bad, and my sugar was, oh no, not 600. That's ridiculous. Oh, God bless you. That is, I mean, I don't know if, do you check your sugar? I guess you do, or you wouldn't have known it's six. Well, I don't know. The hospital may have told you it was 600. You know, that's too high. You got to get that down. Got to get on that Bible diet, because that eating that stuff is just gonna kill you, and we want you around. That's what I tell all my friends. We want you around. So let me put my other glasses on so I don't look crazy. I'm I'm still crazy, but we'll get back to Iris Eiffel. Uh, but I was doing some of my book and I was writing about meeting her at the flea market. That's what we call them, flea markets. My grandmother, years ago, we were in the car and she saw the big sign that says up uh, a mile away is flea market. And she was, with all honesty, she just didn't understand stuff because she had lived in the country for so many years. Why would anybody want to buy fleas? I said, Mama said, Grandma, Mama. So the ones that don't know, swap meets, flea markets, trades days, there's all kind of, you can call them whatever you want to. But I've been doing, uh, Grandma Teresa says it won't stay level. It's at 183, then it'll go to 498, just trying to level it out. That sounds pancreatic of some kind because, uh, I don't know for sure. But make sure you're going to an endocrinologist or a specialist. I'm going to ask my little thing here. Why does blood sugar fluctuate from 200 to 500? Um, and see what it has to say. It says blood sugar goes up and down all day because your body is constantly balancing how much sugar is coming in and how much is being used and how much is being stored. The big reason is your foods and drinks, your carbs, breads, pasta, sweets, sugary drinks. They raise blood sugar the fastest. Now, protein and fat slow the rise, but can still affect the levels later on. Huge meals or lots of sugar at once can cause sharp spikes. And two, I get kind of weak if my blood sugar is acting kind of crazy. And going too long without eating can let the blood sugar drop. Skipping meals, then eating a big one, often causes a low, then high swing. And this is probably why mine, because I have the liver cirrhosis, it says insulin and your liver. Insulin moves sugar from your blood into your cells. If your body doesn't make enough or doesn't respond well enough, your sugar will stay high. Between meals and overnight, your liver releases stored sugar to keep levels from going too low, which can cause early morning highs. So that might tell you why. If it's morning, noon, night. Let me go on and read this because I can't see the comments right this. Stress, we all have that. Illness and hormones. Stress hormones from worry, pain, or sickness tell your body to release more sugar into the blood. Hormones. PMS, menopause, growth in teens, steroids like prednisone can raise your blood sugar. I didn't know that. I did not know that prednisone could raise your blood sugar. So if somebody's on a steroid, then, if your blood sugar goes up, it's probably that steroid, I guess. Poor sleep can make your body more insulin resistant, so sugars run higher the next day. Alcohol also can first raise and then later drop blood sugar, especially if you're drinking alcohol without food, which I used to do that. I don't drink anymore. I hadn't drank in 13 years. Sometimes I think people think I'm half drunk, but I am. It's not from liquor, though. It's from my inner ear and vertigo. That's what I always say. I've fallen down like a 10-day drunk. Medication, some medicines, okay, steroid, blood pressure medicine, mental health meds, raise blood sugar. Others, including diabetic meds or insulin, will lower it. it says on, I just put in the 200 or 500 part. Uh, if you're talking about the meter reading, like 2 or 500, both are high. 500 dangerously high, especially if someone's feeling sick, thirsty, or is peeing a lot. So if you're peeing a lot, you know it's trying to shed that. Your natural body's trying to shed that. Let me look under. I think that the best doctor for evaluating high blood sugar would be. I'm thinking my PCP does, of course, does mine, but there's if it's the endocrinologist. That's what I thought. For very high blood sugar, the main long-term specialist is an endocrinologist. But an emergency room may be needed first if it's extremely high and you feel very sick. It says your blood sugar is very high, often 240 to 300 or above, and you have vomiting, severe thirst, trouble breathing, confusion, fruity breath, extreme weakness, you need to go to the ER. So, Grandma Teresa, I tell you that I have high blood pressure. I can see your comments now. That really is, I don't like that when we get all out of sorts. Let me read my, let me get on down here. She has high blood pressure. I don't drink. My potassium is really low. I'm on low carb diet. It won't say level. It's at 183, then I go to 498, just trying to level it out. Yeah, it's got to be rough. Well, we'll say prayers for you. You know, I mean, there's nothing like being sick or having friends that are sick. You know, we just do the best that we can. That not saying level, that I don't understand. I don't understand what that could be. You know, I mean, I wonder if it. Why does blood sugar not stay levels? What I can't understand. Because you know they put me on some medicine, some blood sugar medicine, and it was too much. So I become needing sugar, and then I bet it's something to do though with my sister, the one that lives out in the country. She had thyroid cancer before her husband had the lung cancer, and so the cat is wanting up here, but I can't mess with him right now. But it messed her. That thyroid, they had to take some of the thyroid, or they took most of it out. It screwed with her blood sugar for a long time, and she didn't. They couldn't figure it out. Well, it was that thyroid. So you might, if it's your thyroid test, it might be something to do with the thyroid. You know, and potassium, when it's low, you might as well. Yeah, they'll figure it out. They will figure it out, or we hope they do. You know, because I just am one of those though. When I hear something like somebody's sick or something's wrong, I try to, because not everybody is a good researcher. Not everybody is concerned, you know, unless it's them. But I get concerned about everybody. See it, Grandma Teresa. She says, I don't have a thyroid either. Okay. So there may be some link there, because my sister, it took forever for them to figure out it had something to do with that thyroid. And you might ask your PCP, just can you give me a thyroid test? just to see what it is. Maybe they've already done it. They should have, but everything nowadays depends on what the insurance says, or this or that. So we're at the mercy of whatever. Uh, but I'm sorry about that. But I hope everybody's trying to make it. I don't know. I don't know where everybody is at this evening. Our usuals, uh, and it may be because I've not been trying to, or I haven't been able to. It wasn't that I didn't want to come on. It's just that when you don't have a working camera or a microphone that don't work, or you got to feed the chickens, or I mean, I can't be on here. And I know that there's people that schedule their chats and they can do it. But I'll tell y'all one thing: when you're a caregiver, uh, and you've got health trouble yourself, it's not like if 20 years ago when I had nothing better to do than come home from work and I could have sat down back then at the computer and talk to my friends like I used to on the old landline phones. I'd call them and talk to them. We didn't have a cell phone. I remember the first cell phone I got was it was about that big. It was in a box and it had a strap. You wore it like a purse, and you'd go in and you see people with them men, women with them big old black boxes. Y'all remember them? And you'd flip that open, and then that receiver, would come like this receiver here. I don't know. Can you see it? It'd be like that. It would come out, and you just sat there. You thought you were living in high cotton. Hell, you just thought, oh boy, I'm all up doing it now because I've got a phone, a mobile phone. I've still got one of those little flip, pretty big, flip gray Motorola's. Those were next. We had the bag first, then we had the Motorola's next. Dorothy, I saw you come in. Well, it doesn't matter if you're late or not. We're glad you stopped in. We sometimes I threaten myself just to leave this camera running 24 hours, and if I want to sit here and people want to chime in if they're alone, if they're lonesome or they can't sleep or they whatever. But I'm afraid I might say a bad word or two, so I've decided against that. I thought, oh, you'll get one of your raving mad. I don't get that mad, but you'll say something, and to yourself. I talk to myself a lot, y'all. I never found a better friend than myself. So I talk to myself quite a bit. And I get a lot of work done, but I have a lot of conversation. If somebody come up to the window or the door and heard me, they'd think I was in here talking to a whole slew of people. But that's the way I exercise my ideas, I've been working on that. Let me see if I can find it. That ASMR. I don't know if I had a little punch here. I thought, well, I'm drinking water, but I thought I don't want to waste that ice and I don't want to have to go get it. So I'm going to pour that into that, and that's what I'm going to do. So back to whatever I was talking about. My nose is itching off. Well, somebody must be coming to see me. I was talking about that ASMR. Now, that sounds like a transmitted disease, but it's not. Those of you that know what it is, know what it is. Oh, there, I see D showed up. Good evening, y'all. Hey, Billy J Mama. Thank you for coming on tonight. I'm quite lonesome and stressed today, so seeing y'all make me feel better. a bit better. Well, we're here, D. You know, before long, I'm gonna excuse me. Now that we've said this before the the computer blew up, all hell broke loose. We said before we was gonna I was gonna give y'all, if y'all want to call in, and we'll do that. We're gonna do that because a lot of times you have questions, and I think it'd be an interesting thing. Y'all, sorry about my throat. It's just those allergies. No fever, none of that. So don't worry about it. Okay, that ASM that I'm talking about is I'll try to let you, the ones of you don't know. If you've ever been looking through, I have written this. If you've ever been scrolling late at night and stumble onto a video of something or somebody whispering, tapping on a box, or slowly turning pages in a book, and the comments are full of folks saying, "This give me tingles," or "I fell smooth asleep," that is something called ASMR. And I didn't know this, y'all. I'm a hick from the sticks. I've been a few places, but I never had heard of ASMR. It stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. Now, that's a fancy medical sounding way of saying pleasant tingles that start in your scalp. You know how we always said, "Oh, my skin crawled" or something. Well, I think that's what ASMR. I didn't know what it was. It makes kind of going down your neck and your spine. And then there's sometimes it'll put you in a deep, calm, you know, like a trance-like state. People sometimes call it brain massage or brain tingle. I delve into it because I wanted to, you know, I'm so inquisitive and I do research and all that stuff. And I thought, well, what is this? I don't understand it. So I decided to look into it because I saw those soft brushing sounds, and it was just interesting to me. There's like this microphone here. When you're doing an ASMR recording, it would be, or something like that, and then you talk real close, real low. And people take those ASMR sounds, the autonomous sensory meridian response, and it makes them go to sleep. It makes them feel different, you know. Could be folding paper. That's why I was putting those little videos on when I was frying those eggs and stuff, you know, like rattling like that. So I've delved into that also now. So the studies, I wanted to know if it could help health or what it could do for mental health. So what I found out is the ASMR tends to switch the body into that rest and digest mode. Studies show it can lower heart rate, ease anxiety, and help people relax enough to drift off to sleep. A lot of people use ASMR videos. Others like bedtime stories, rain sounds, just a tool to calm the mind. Let's go of stress, feel a little safer, softer before you close your eyes. Now, D, that's probably what you need. You need some, since you're so keyed up today, you need some ASMR. Go watch some ASMR videos on YouTube. That might help you. It might be something any of you might could look up ASMR. I've seen on YouTube that there's some little old guy and he's sitting there and he acts like he's putting makeup onto the camera, which would be you basically, and it's the sound. And he's got lots and lots of followers, and it helps a lot of people. So yeah, Dee says she needs ASMR. So see, there's smarter people than I am. I'm just from the sticks. I didn't know what it was. Uh, uh, on the brain side of things, though, researchers have found that during the ASMR, the areas tied to the reward, emotion, and social bonding, they light up. Kind of like when you listen to your favorite song or you get a hug, it can boost your mood. But see, you don't have to have nobody else. It can all be from just the listening to the ASMR. Now, not everybody feels that ASMR. I mean, people might think I'm a nut, but I was trying to tell Mother about it, and she didn't understand what I was talking about. Because I've been writing. I've got several books and things that everybody has books that they've written or memories or something like that. And I had one that I had been working on for years about New Orleans and the vampires and things like that, just because it was something I was doing years ago. So I decided, well, I'm going to see if I can adapt that into some kind of ASMR that somebody might want to hear if they're trying to go to sleep. Mother, I put it on last night after I'd got the voiceover and things done. Mother said, "Oh, that's scary. I don't like that. Why did you do this?" And I told her, I said, "Mother, it's just a writing, you know." "Oh, I don't want to hear it." I said, "Okay, okay, okay." So, but if y'all see me posting stuff that it's not a cooking video, or it's not a live, it's whatever, then just know I'm just being creative on my channel. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to listen to it. It's just something that gives me peace. I guess I'm trying to say, like the ASMR might help you. Well, I do these writings, whether they're about vampires or whatever. It's just me. I don't think it degrades from me being a Christian or anything else. It's just a story. So if you see that any of my videos that I've done of the writings or the ASMR or the sleepy, it might catch on and it might make a couple dollars, because like I said, everybody, these YouTube is going to be perpetual. These videos, unless you take them down, they'll be there for a long, long time. So, in the long run, I want my writings and things published. I always was going to put them in books and stuff, but I feel like the best way to do it now is reading it and putting it on a video where people can listen to it like we used to do the old cassette tapes, the books on CD or whatever that was. But now it's gone past that. It's going to be more of us listening and watching, visual and sound, to get comfort, to get loneliness gone, to get information. So I think that's where it's going with our society. Rebecca Marie Hi, Billie Jean from Wales, United Kingdom. I'm watching you. And she's crocheting. She can't get to sleep. Well, we're up over here. It's only 10:11 here in the South, USA, um, Central. So Wales, I'm pretty sure would be, what about 6 a.m.? No, 4 a.m. Yeah, okay. Dorothy says, I listen to sleep stories on YouTube from my phone by my pillow because I don't like quiet, lonely, just me and the cat. Yeah, mom just don't, she does not, y'all, she does not like any kind of horror movie, whether it be the old black and white that I grew up on. I like watching them because I laugh at them. The Dracula monster movies and stuff, I get tickled at them because they're so funny. Uh, but so okay, I'm going to tell y'all. I took the script that I had written, AI'd it, got it punctuated correctly. Then this is what process you have to do for something like that is you have to take your script and you have to record your voice reading the script. So I applaud these people that can do these videos for all of us to enjoy because it's a long process. And during the time that my computer's been down, I have my laptop. So I've been working on these small little things that I've been wanting to get done. Well, I couldn't do it on the big computer, so I've been using the laptop and just had them held over. So finally, I decided I was going to figure out how to produce it. So I went and I learned and learned and learned, just like programming all this. I've learned and learned and learned. Never 10 years ago, you couldn't have, I wouldn't have believed you if you'd have told me I was going to do a YouTube channel or something like that and uh, have all this chat bots and all this. I wouldn't have known diddly squat about it. So, uh, but thank God that I've learned. I've really learned, and it's been very interesting, and I hope to go continue with it. But where I get back to the recording the script, that took a while to get done. Then you have to take that script and you put it in to an AI. Y'all, I told you I'm scared of AI, kind of, because you can do so much with it. It's just like that I have the video that y'all saw that I posted trying to do the healthy benefit. That's AI. So I needed a vampire. So I just used Billie Jean and made him sit still and photograph and do the vampire. So it come out. I couldn't believe that it come out so well my first time, but I've really worked trying to figure it out. Let me see if I've got that. I'll show it to you. It's just the introduction to the story of the AI of Billie Jean in the vampire getup. Let me see if I can find it. Here, maybe this is it.
Welcome, my friends. You've arrived just in time. The night has grown quiet. The world outside has slowed, and it's the perfect hour for a story. My first tale has awakened, a story meant to keep you company as you drift into dreams. Let your mind wander through the dark and the beautiful, through secrets that stir beneath the moonlight. And if you enjoy tonight's visit, linger a little longer. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next chapter. I'll be waiting here when the night calls you.
So, y'all can see, it's very interesting. I wanted to put that on there so y'all could visualize what I'm talking about. You know, I mean, it may not look just like me, it don't have all the wrinkles and all that, but there is progress that has been made with this AI, and that's why I said I'm kind of scared about it because it's going to get to where it's like the Jetsons. When if y'all remember that old cartoon, she'd put her face on and talk to the camera, and she'd look like she was perfectly fixed. Well, I think it's going to be that way again. We're not going to really look like who. I mean, we'll look good. I guess we'll look good, but I don't even know how long we've been on here. I'm having so much fun. I still don't know how long we've been on here. I can't see by the meter. I think we've probably been on here about 40 minutes, but we've been having fun. Yeah, D, I'm very interested in seeing where AI is going to go. I feel like they can be bad, but then I think it could be it can be good too. So, yeah, Dark Shadows, that gave me an idea, Dorothy. I was young, but I remember my mother or my grandmother won. I wanted a Dark Shadows board game, and it had Barnabas Collins' little casket in that board game. I don't think I still have the box with the game. I may. I can't say for sure because I've got so much stuff. But I remember playing the Dark Shadows board game. I guess it was a game. I can't remember. I just remember it had a coffin and Barnabas Collins, and that I ran across that on. If you look up on YouTube, they've got all the old Dark Shadows series. I think it's free. So if you want to get doing something, then you might go watch that on the YouTube because I haven't looked at the storylines on that because I've already got my own storyline. I've been working on stuff for a long time and a lot of different about my career and stuff like that. A lot of times I'd be lonely, or be somewhere where I couldn't, we didn't have laptops and stuff, but I would jot stuff down in longhand on a legal pad. So that's what I'm having to do is go down in my files and look up all this stuff on those legal pads to try to produce something. That's what I was going to tell you all about. And I may go ahead and I don't know if I'll produce this or not, but the time that I met Iris Opfel, it's a writing, And so if there's writings on there and y'all just want to hear my voice, then just listen to the writings. It's probably about somebody that I've met or know, and I feel comfortable about writing about it, and it's okay, then I will do it. Rebecca says, I'm crocheting a basket. I feel like my hands will drop off in my shoulder. I'll see if AI can make them for me. I don't think it's got that good, Rebecca, but my grandmother crocheted. My little grandmother crocheted. And I've got a lot of her stuff. Rebecca, that brought back a sweet memory to me just then because I hadn't thought about grandmother crocheting. My grandmother was about the size of my mom. Rebecca, I don't know if you watch the show, Mama. She'll be 94 April 5th. And I'm gonna give y'all an address so you can. People have been asking so they can mail her a birthday card. I said, okay, I'll put it up. Uh, with this world and times, I've listed it, but then I thought, I need to get a post office box because I just don't want to list everything because, like I said, this is perpetual. But you can always email me at justmebillyjean@yahoo.com and ask for the address if you would like, and I will certainly reciprocate. And then that won't be just put out here on Front Street, as they say. Yeah, Dorothy, you can. Rebecca, I'd love to see this, Billie Jean. Have to see if you can get out what she made. I watch every single one. I'm a silent watcher. Yes, I'd love to send her a card. Oh, that's sweet of you, Rebecca. Grandmother, well, let me, my brain, it's getting better, but it's still, I think age is getting there too. She made some beautiful Africans. And then the older she got, you could tell that her sight was getting a little worse because the muted colors became bright. I'm talking about like lime green, bright orange, purple. Boy, if you wasn't woke up when you put that African on, you would be when you woke up the next morning and saw all that. It was that zigzag pattern. So it was something to behold. But she tried, and yeah, she'd make me little things all the time, little rats and little this and little that. And that's funny you brought that memory back because that was a good memory today. And I hope that I've given y'all good memories today. I hope that this show is helping you, and because that's what we're here in this earth for, is to help each other. And we may be far apart, but we're close by heart and prayers and all that. But I've got to get Mom. It's already 10:24 here. I've got to give her medicine and get her ready for bed. And we got the chickens. We're in with the chickens tonight, so we won't stay up too long. But I'll try to come on just as soon as I can. I'm going to try to get a pretty good schedule so we can just keep it. And I'll talk to y'all soon. God bless you. God bless us. God bless the United States, because we do need it. And I'll be back. Bye-bye.